Welcome to the channel. I'm Kay here with your latest political news. Janet Jackson is making headlines. Janet Jackson recently sat down with The Guardian to give an interview. In this interview, she talked motherhood, Michael Jackson, her divorce, new relationships, and she even weighed in on politics. And the political aspect of this interview is why she is currently making headlines. In this interview, Janet Jackson questioned Kamala Harris's blackness. To say that I'm disappointed that Rhythm Nation Janet Jackson would question somebody's blackness in the year of 2024 of our Lord would be an understatement. But I'm going to read for you the interview question so we have a little bit of context as to why she said this. So during the interview, the interviewer is referring to the Rhythm Nation album, and she said, on the record, she sang about joining voices in protest to social injustices and pushing toward a world rid of color lines. I wonder where she stands on the forthcoming election. After all, I say America could be on the verge of voting in its first black female president, Kamala Harris. Side note, just so we're clear, Janet Jackson is currently living in London. She is not living in the US right now, and I believe that's due, according to this interview, to her divorce. She's over in London co-parenting with her son's father. So, just a side note. So Janet responds, well, you know what they supposedly said. She asked me, she's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. Well, she's both, I offer. Her father's white, that's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. She coughs. I was told that they discovered her father was white. The interviewer says, I'm floored at this point. It's well known that Harris's father is a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really, truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes, it's going to be mayhem. She doesn't think there will be a peaceful transition of power. I think there might be mayhem. She falters. Either way it goes, but we'll have to see. This is that particular exchange that got everybody like, wait a minute, is Janet Jackson for real? Like, is she serious? So, of course, social media gets set on fire after this interview is released, and people are like, come on, Janet. I mean, seriously, how do you not know that Kamala Harris is black? I will say this. You are the Janet Jackson. If you had any questions, you are the Janet Jackson. You could have probably gotten Kamala Harris on the phone personally to ask her, hey girl, what is going on? What is this I hear about you not being black, or whatever it is that she wants to say? Or you could literally have anybody in your camp to give you this information if this was something that you really wanted to know. I honestly don't really, from Janet Jackson's response of, it's going to be mayhem, to say that I think she's paying attention to U.S. politics, I really don't think so. Just from these comments, if she had been paying attention, she would have known that Kamala Harris is black. Kamala Harris talked about her background at the convention when she gave her acceptance speech. She talked about her background, her father's background, her mother's background. And of course she said that her mother raised her and her sister Maya as black little girls because, of course, the world would see them as being black. So there is that. But to say that I'm disappointed in Janet Jackson, I mean, we have to take celebrities with a grain of salt now. I'm not looking to her for my political views. I'm actually not looking to any celebrity for their political views. They are not in the same position as regular everyday people. They have a completely different lifestyle that is completely separate from regular, smuggler, everyday people and what we're trying to accomplish and what it is that we're trying to do. So set aside that Janet Jackson is getting dragged on social media. People are outright angry, especially Black Twitter, at this response when you're somebody like Janet Jackson who should have information before you make a statement. I mean, you've done this so many times, Janet. Like, how do you not know that you have to pick and choose your words carefully? Because saying something like this, I just don't understand how she did not. Had she said, you know what? I don't feel comfortable answering that question because I don't know what's going on in U.S. politics right now. Fair. You don't live here. You're not really paying attention. Your focus and attention is elsewhere. I get it. We get it. Nobody would fault her for that. Although I think some people would say, how do you not know what's going on? You live in the United States, or you're from the United States. How do you not know what's going on politically? That's neither here nor there. So we fast forward, and Sunday, allegedly Janet Jackson's manager issues an apology statement. I'm going to read the apology statement into its entirety. This apology statement was shared with the Washington Post, People Magazine, Deadline. So this manager went out of his way to make sure that this apology was given. Take a look, listen to what he had to say. I'm going to read it. It says, the original statement issued by, I'm not going to butcher his name, so I'll just put it up there, read, Janet Jackson would like to clarify her recent comments. She recognizes that her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. Janet respects Harris's dual heritage as both Black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. She values the diversity Harris represents and understands the importance of celebrating that in today's society. Janet remains committed to promoting unity and understanding. That was a pretty good, or that was a great apology statement. I mean, that covered all the bases. She didn't mean to ruffle any feathers. You know, she didn't know. She didn't mean to, repeat something that she wasn't sure about. The misinformation covered all the grounds. Hold tight. Janet's team comes out late last night and says, wait a minute. That person was not authorized to speak on the record. That person did not have permission to issue a statement on Janet's behalf. Really? So we're going to take that perfectly good statement and we're going to just toss it? Is that what we're doing? So her team comes out and says, I'm reading it, the apology for Kamala Harris was not approved by Janet. And that's according to Deadline. Deadline is reporting that, listen, this apology that we got on Sunday, don't take that for what it is. Then, according to the Daily Beast, the rep for Janet Jackson says that he was fired over the apology drama. Janet, girl, why not just let it be? Why not just let it be? And I realize that I'm not sure if she is not sorry for questioning Kamala Harris's blackness or if she didn't think she said anything wrong. And I'm leaning more towards the fact that she's probably questioning, okay, so what did I say that was that bad? As a Black woman, you're questioning another Black woman's blackness. Given all of the things that your brother Michael Jackson went through with the whole color change, you know what that was. So I don't understand why you would even go there. Like, to just say, well, I heard they found out that her father was white. Where'd they find it out? What was it hiding in the bushes? I'm not understanding when that information is out there. clear for anybody to be able to see. I mean, Kamala Harris herself talks about it. There are interviews with Kamala Harris's mother where she talks about it. So this is not something that is just being made up, or Kamala Harris is just discovering that she's black. She pledged, aka Divine Nine, Black Sorority. She went to Howard University. She's always identified as black. Janet, this was a complete misstep. This was a complete misstep. And if this person wasn't authorized to issue an apology, Janet Jackson herself should issue an apology, because you're wrong. You know, you didn't, saying that I heard her father was white, or they found out that her father was white. You can say, you know what? My mistake. I should not have said that. I did not know. Completely my fault. And move on. Now it's being reported that the rep allegedly got fired for issuing the apology. So the Daily Beast is reporting this. The man who claims to be the former manager of Janet Jackson said he was fired by the pop star and her brother Randy due to disagreements after an article published over the weekend in The Guardian revealed the 58-year-old claimed Vice President Harris is not black. Janet Jackson fired me due to disagreements between me, her, and Randy after her meeting with The Guardian and her unbalanced statement. Mo, not going to butcher his last name, told the Daily Beast in an email statement. That's all I can say, he added. When asked for further comment, he said he could not receive phone calls due to the large number of calls, while adding all support to Kamala Harris. It comes after an unexpected twist Sunday when representative for Jackson confirmed that an apology made on behalf of the singer from manager, his last name, were not made or authorized by the singer at all. So I don't know if Janet Jackson's taking back what she said, like I said before, but I think this was a huge misstep on her part. I think she should have let the apology ride, reprimand this guy on the back end, but let it go, because that would have been the right thing to do. Clearly you're wrong. You're trafficking misinformation from Donald Trump, which is no surprise. It's no surprise. It's no surprise, and it's no surprise. Yes, there are a lot of pictures with, there are a lot of pictures with Janet Jackson, her family, and Donald Trump. But I will say that in the black community in the 80s and 90s, people, you can hear it in rap songs where people talked about Donald Trump and wanting to be rich like him, even though we find out decades later that he really wasn't rich at all. But that's neither here nor there. But he had a major influence on, that's so crazy, I'm thinking about it in real time, that he had that much influence on the black community as far as what people aspire to be. Y'all, I'm having a moment. Just bear with me. I am literally having a moment. Not knowing his past consists of not wanting to rent to black people, his father possibly allegedly being a part of the Ku Klux Klan, him saying that he did not want black people counting his money, and yet rappers praised him. I'm having a moment. I really am having a moment. Okay. So I get it, because Donald Trump also has a lot of photos with him and Diddy, him and Melania and Diddy, and Donald Trump and just Diddy. He has a lot of pictures out there with famous celebrities, black celebrities. So there's no surprise in this one. I am just surprised at Janet. But this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I don't think anybody was looking for her political views, and I don't think that she could sway anybody with her political views. If it's anything, I think it was more what I saw on Twitter from the comments and social media. It looks like people were more disappointed that, because in our minds, celebrities we make up who we think they are based upon how we see them interact publicly, and when we see them on stage or on the big screen, we just automatically assume that these people are just like us. And some of them are, don't get me wrong, but most of them are not. We hear the rumors about certain celebrities and how awful they are, but I think it's Janet Jackson. So a lot of people are surprised that Rhythm Nation Janet Jackson would make a statement like this. So here are my final thoughts. I think Janet Jackson should apologize. You have the information that you need, that what you said was wrong, and you should issue an apology statement and move on from this. Do not feed into this misinformation and let this lie just continue on, because there are a lot of people that are trying to weaponize this against Kamala Harris. And it's not fair, it's not cool that she has to consistently and constantly defend her blackness, which she doesn't comment on it at all. And I think that is huge. President Obama didn't comment on the racial issues as well when it came to him personally. But Kamala Harris is not going to feed into that simply because she knows who she is, and what Janet Jackson or anybody else Donald Trump has to say doesn't matter to her. She's at that point. She's arrived at that point in her life. I'm sure she's sick of it. But Janet Jackson should apologize, and we in the public should really take a closer look at the way we view celebrities. After all, they are regular smuggler people just like everybody else. They just have money and status. And they tend to have a different view of the world than a lot of us do. But a lot of them are humbled by how it all began for them and where they are now. Shout out to John Legend for always being a voice for the people. Shout out to John Legend for that. That is all that I have. Janet Jackson, girl, apologize and move on. That's all that I have. I am going, as always, to touch some grass. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.